Today we're going to be covering Stonetoss, and from the get-go you might think that's a bit weird. Compared to the other people we covered, he's not as bad. I want to point out that comic creators like this are barely touched on. Like, my previous ones barely got a video on them, despite their somewhat popularity, and Stonetoss is an incredible example of that because he has over 100,000 followers, and yet rarely has any videos on him, which is a bit concerning considering the stuff he puts out. Problem is, and the reason I'm covering him is because he has a lot of popularity, and yet he isn't covered enough. He isn't shamed enough, and there's not exactly a movement to get him off Twitter, despite the fact that he breaks the rules of hateful misconduct. And before anyone goes, oh, well, he makes fun of the right too. Yeah, I don't fucking care though. He's still pushing out hateful views. He can start making fun of Trump a lot more, and it wouldn't matter if he's still pushing out comics with hateful views. So without further ado, let's get into Stonetoss. One thing that's very clear from his comics is that he very much does go out of his way to attack the LGBTQ community. This comic tries to say that, oh, if you're going to say blackface is offensive, what about women dressing up as women? And before you whip your dick out and go, trans women aren't women, kindly put your dick back in your pants and we'll address you later. This comic tries to say that being trans is basically the same thing as wearing blackface, even though blackface has a history of being used to mock black people. Trans people don't. Another comic tries to say that it's kind of weird that LGBT people can have pride in their stuff, but MAGA can't. The thing is, people choose to adopt hateful views like the ones that are represented with MAGA. The thing is, with gay people and LGBT people all around, is they don't choose to be in the way they are. And let's put up a hypothetical. Let's say same-sex attraction is a choice. That's still a stupid comparison here. Trump supporters support stuff that affects people and minorities in a negative way. Thus, those views are bad. More or less not the views, but enacting on those views. And Trump supporters often enact on those views by speaking them out and voting for people like Trump. Doing something like being attracted to men, on the other hand, doesn't hurt anyone. Another weird thing Stonetoss likes to preach on about is that when gay people have sex, they fuck through the butthole, so they must be fucking through shit. They must all have a shit fetish. Obviously, this is ignoring the fact that most gay people clean out that area. In fact, most people that participate in anal, whether they're gay or not, usually clean out that area. And if we use Stonetoss's argument fairly, technically straight sex could be seen as disgusting because you're fucking with your dicks and vaginas? Don't you know that's where pee comes from? What are you, a bunch of piss fetishists? This one is probably like the worst one out of the bunch because it makes the flawed argument of saying people are often made gay because of trauma. Even though that's not how it works. You don't become gay because you got fucked up the ass by your creepy uncle. Stonetoss, for someone that likes to say that the LGBTQ community, they hate science. Look at what they're doing. You seem to ignore the scientific evidence that gay people are born gay. Also, for someone that seems to be a die-hard biology fan, you kind of miss out on the fact that biology and gender are two different things. The sexes male and female still exist, but the genders, gender is a social construct. See, Stonetoss, despite your line of thinking, actual professionals, like the World Health Organization, describe sex as characteristics that are biologically defined. Meanwhile, gender is not based on biology, but is more so based on socially constructed features. The next time you get a dumbass like Stonetoss trying to say, I believe in real biology, point out that real biology doesn't include gender. Gender is a social construct. Did you know you can watch my videos early? About 3 to 4 of them early just by becoming a patron? That's right, by becoming a member of my Patreon, you can watch videos about up to 3 to 4 videos early. Not only that, but the lowest tier for this service is $3 a month. That's right, $3 for videos early. And if for some reason I ever scrap a video, you get to see it no matter what. And if for some reason after uploading a video to YouTube and unlisting it, I have to drastically change it, then you can also watch the earlier cuts of that video. And the best thing about it is that you help support me make future videos even better. So if you want to help me out while getting some cool stuff along the way, try supporting my Patreon today. A blatant theme amongst these comic creators I've been covering for a while now is blatant anti-Semitism. Like, not even trying to be subtle most of the time, just mostly blatant. Now, we're only going to cover one of his anti-Semitic comics today, since we've pretty much, debunked the whole, Jewish people rule the world thing in a previous video. In fact, I'm going to link that video down below. But the reason I want to bring this up nonetheless is that this is a person that's very popular and has been going around on Twitter for a while that's been posting blatantly anti-Semitic bullshit. And, of course, he's yet to be taken down. That's the whole point of this video, to get people like him taken down. This is a person with over 100,000 views, and he's posting hateful bullshit like this. The fact that Stonetoss hasn't been kicked off Twitter for spreading comics with hateful views is kind of embarrassing. Now, I'm going to cover stuff that wouldn't necessarily get him banned off Twitter for breaking the rules, but is still quite oftenly stupid. More so, I'm pointing these out for the dumbasses who want to say, oh sure, he has a lot of bigoted views, but he makes a lot of great points as well. No, he fucking doesn't. For example, this one. How dare people in America, make criticisms with the people ruling their own country? What about other countries? Or like how Antifa wants to abolish the police. That must mean they also want to abolish the justice system altogether. Even though, no, they want to abolish it and replace it. Slowly abolish it and replace it with a much better system. But, let's just ignore that. This comic is about how the left likes to say that the right uses dog whistles, even though multiple white nationalists have been trying to use that symbol or reappropriate it in a way that's racist. But, but look at them. They're blatantly open about their views. And look, I know that symbol isn't inherently racist, but racists have used it, mostly as a subtle way to say white power. Like, I remember people were talking shit about it and how it was a joke before, and now they're just doing it unironically. This one tries to say that Planned Parenthood is racist because a lot of black people have abortions, even though that's not racist. Black people have a lot of abortions because, it's expensive to have a kid. And unlike white people, most black people do live in poverty. And if you want to say there's a racial difference and that's why they're mostly in poverty, go watch the video I linked down below. I'm not saying systemic racism doesn't exist, I'm saying that biological differences between black people and white people don't exist. Other than skin color, of course. This one tries to make fun of the leftists who want to identify as socialism and communists, but also want to say they're on the side of decency and basic human rights. But countries that have had those kind of systems have been evil. Let's just ignore the fact that those kind of countries also had dictatorships, and that's why they were corrupt. Not because of the socialism and communism. Like I explained in a previous video about socialism, I'll leave you to look that up on my channel, I pointed out that socialism has nothing to do with dictatorships. And just because someone like me likes socialism does not mean I agree with the most popular socialists that have bad records. I believe socialism would be better for the people as a whole. But I also don't like dictatorships, which most the bad examples of socialism and communism have been dictatorships. Now, this is a often hypocritical statement from someone like Stonetoss, who likes to say that black people and minorities often use their minorityness as a card, like the race card or the minority card. But look at all these Antifa people. They hated this gay Asian guy. But here's the thing. They didn't hate him because he was gay and Asian. They hated him because his beliefs were hateful. But like Stonetoss want to bring up the fact that he's a minority so the left can look hypocritical, even though the left never attacked him based on him being gay or Asian. And the final one we're looking at today is this one, which basically points out how the communists, they don't want to work with the working class. They hate the working class because, yeah, all the working class are actually racist, and they hate racism, but they love the working class. It's hypocritical, don't you think? Because all the working class is racist, I guess. Hey, Stonetoss, here's the thing. Just because we support the working class and minorities doesn't mean we agree with every minority on everything. For example, just because I like the working class does not mean I want to associate with a working class member that also happens to be racist. Yes, that person does deserve better wages if they're getting paid jack shit currently, but I'm not going to associate with a specific person in that group if they're racist. And if you're trying to say the whole working class is racist, that's wrong. I don't even have to point out why that's wrong. That's just obviously wrong. There's no evidence that every person in the working class is racist. Now, the whole point of this video is to get Stonetoss off Twitter, and the best way to do that is by reporting him. If he gets enough reports, he'll be kicked off Twitter. And for those who don't know how to report these specific comics where there's obviously hatred, I'm going to teach you how to. I'm going to use this post as an example. Click on the little 3 buttons in the corner. From there, you'll be given a list of options. The options you want to pick is obviously report tweet. Then you'll want to click on it's abusive or harmful. Then click on it depicts hatred against a protected category. Then you click on a group of people. Then click add one. There, you should be done and he should be reported. I believe if we work together to spread the hashtag report Stonetoss, we might be able to get Stonetoss off Twitter, thus limiting his ways of, spreading his hateful comics and hateful views. So once you're done reporting him and his content, be sure to spread the hashtag report Stonetoss, so other people may be able to report him, and maybe in the future his Twitter will be taken down. Thank you for watching the video, and if you liked it, be sure to like and subscribe. Also, check out these links. If you want to tip me, you could go check out my Ko-Fi. If you want to vote for the next video, go to my Twitter. If you want to get some merch with my face on it, go to my merch store. And if you want to get to watch videos early while supporting the channel, go check out my Patreon. Also, the artist that made the OCs in this video is not me. It is Benny Bunny, so go check him out on Twitter. Also, feel free to come down to my Discord with the link down below. New videos are uploaded every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And don't forget to love yourself.